And we are live in Florida, episode 9, Music, Guitars, and Truth. That's what we're doing here today. We're getting this mic set up right at the right height and try to get everything up and rolling. I do have a guitar here. What's happening, Billy? How you doing, brother? We saw you this morning. We're glad to have you here now. I'm gonna set this down for now. But everything's going good. We're getting ready to, I guess there's more storm is on the way. So we are here in the lab. We got Jimi Hendrix with us, and we got a little lava lamp going in the background. I think this is a pretty good setup we got going here. And of course, we got the Red Bull. Now we got 4 people in here. Welcome to the chat. As you know, when I do these lives, it's kind of fast and furious and anything goes. So we're here live. It is Sunday, August 4th. Now I put out 3 videos today in the members section. And know that if you're a member, hello from Michigan. Anthony Gettig is here, soon to be Columbia TN. Anthony, I think you're going to really like Columbia. It's a beautiful little town. And you're going to be close to all the action in Nashville as well. I know a lot of people from Michigan came down to Tennessee. So you're going to find a lot of like-minded souls who made the same decision. And I think you're going to really enjoy it. So, but moving sucks. I've got this nice little area of my office ready to do my lives. Do you know Les Richardson in Nashville? No, I do not. Hunker down and stay safe. I'm up the road in Jacksonville, the other guitar town. Joey, I salute you. It looks like Jacksonville's going to get hit harder than we are right now. I don't know, man. I don't even know what channel to watch or whatever, and we mostly do streaming here, so I've been clicking around. Moving does suck. Thanks for the encouraging words. Anthony, I think you're gonna really like Columbia. I think you are. And like I said, you'll be pretty close to Nashville, and anything you want is in Nashville. And if you like music and you like guitars, man, there are more guitar shops. It's kind of like LA was back in the day. LA used to have that strip right on the Sunset Strip with the Guitar Center. That whole little area was all guitar shops. Everything from Carvin had its own shop to Mesa Boogie had its own shop. And then the vintage shops across the street from Guitar Center where you could really find good deals back in the day. Of course, those prices are through the roof. Now with Nashville, it's even better than LA was back in the day with guitar shops, because Nashville seems to be the big guitar town in the South. But I am down here in Florida, and we're getting ready to hunker down. The Carvin store was cool, man. I miss Carvin. I miss Peavy, because those that's what us working players would get. I had a Carvin 412 cab, and I think I bought it for $100 back in the day, because that was the affordable gear, and it was solidly built. I used to play through those Carvin X100B heads all the time, because most of the clubs in Nashville, especially the places that were kind of like, plug, throw and go kind of like places, they would all have the Carvin cabinets, and they would have the Carvin X100B heads. And that was first PA was Carvin. Yes, Billy. The Carvin X100B was the amp that you would always see Steve Vai in the ads for. And those amps were like kind of the standard amps right there at the Central, which was now the Viper Room. They would have a Carvin X100B stack. And some of the other clubs that we played, they would say, hey, you're just doing a 30-minute set, come down, you plug into the gear we have here, and they would have Carvin gear set up. What's happening, Ryan? How you doing? Happy Sunday. Welcome to the festivities. We're getting ready to ride this back half of the storm out here in a little bit. We're hunkered down in the studio. And I just did like 3 videos this morning. Carvin PAs. They were indestructible, just like the Petey stuff, man. And Carvin was direct to thing. The thing that I really lusted after back in the day was the Carvin double neck. You would see it in the catalog, and it was like quilted top, or it was that white one, I think, with the white inlays and the ebony board. Man, I wanted that guitar so bad. And I'll tell you a story, because my channel is famous for these musician stories. When I was a kid, and I did my video, said Surviving Berkeley, talking about my time at Berklee College of Music in Boston. All right. And there was a store across the street called Daddy's Junkie Music, which was an awesome store. It was killer. They would have like BC Rich, like when BC Rich made quality stuff, they had the BC Rich, they had Charvel, they had Mesa Boogie, they had all this stuff that I'd never seen anywhere else. And so this store, Daddy's Junkie Music, I had wanted the Carvin double neck. It's like I saw a double neck and I thought, oh man, I gotta have a double neck, right? And the pictures of Jimmy Page with his, double neck. So I went to Daddy's Junkie Music, and they had a Gibson 12 and 6, the SG shaped double neck, and it was listed at $1,000. And I had a thought in my mind. I had been given $500 as like my spending money while I was at, Berklee College of Music, but I was eating, out of the cafeteria. So I really didn't need cash. And I had a Les Paul Custom, which now it's the one guitar that I wish I had kept over the years. But I had this Les Paul Custom that it was a second. It had a 2 on the back of the headstock. But it was, I'd gotten it for $500, right? So I went in Daddy's Music and I see this double neck Gibson, and I see it, on the wall, and I see it for $1,000, and I'm putting 2 and 2 in my head. Well, I've got 500, and I got a Les Paul that I paid 500 for. So I go in there and I negotiate with them. I said, look, I'll give you this Les Paul at $500, and you give me the double neck. So they thought about it. Okay, we'll do that deal, So I get this double neck, but then I wasn't thinking ahead that now when I go to class, I have to take this double neck, carry this giant case to class, which is completely unpractical. It's just not. So I guess I called home at some point, and I told my mom what I did, and she was furious. She was furious, and I was a minor. So legally, I guess in her mind, I wasn't able to make a business decision like that. So my mom, being in Virginia, she calls Daddy's Junkie Music, and she lights them up, and she tells them, look, he is a minor, and he cannot make a decision like that. So they forced me to go back into the store and give them the 12 string and the 612 double neck. And I had to go back in to the store, and I got my Les Paul back, and I gave them the double neck back. But they gave a store credit for the 500. So they were like, we're not refunding the cash, but we'll swap the instruments, and you'll have a $500 credit. Well, the good news was, and I don't know if like my mom was, felt bad because it was kind of embarrassing. Like the story got out among the school, the kid with the double neck, he ended up having to take it back. And every time I go in that store, it's like, I'm kind of like, because my mom had called and lit them up. So at the end of the summer, there was one amp in that store. Every rocker kid at Berklee was lusting after. It was a Mesa Boogie SOB. What's up, Vance? So this Mesa Boogie SOB was a white 100-watt head and a white 412 cab, and it was a beautiful amp, and it had gain, like gain that wasn't available back in the day. It had 3 gain stages. So all of, especially the Van Halen wannabes and stuff at Berkeley were just like, oh man, that's the most incredible amp. And I think that was $1,000 for the stack, which was a heck of a deal now when you think about it. That was like a hand-wired Mesa Boogie. You know, another thing that I wish I still had today, but the white Tolex really took a beating over the years as far as, you know, changing color and, you know, and all that. And I eventually got rid of that for a Marshall, but that's a story. I digress. So at the end of the summer, when my friend John came to pick me up, he said, okay, you've got this $500 store credit at the thing. You can pick out something you want, and it's your birthday, so we'll throw in the rest, whatever it is. And I see that Mesa Boogie amp that I knew every kid in the store wanted, and I said, I'll take that. And man, I came home with that Mesa Boogie amp that everybody wanted, and it had all that gain. And so then I eventually got a Kramer Pacer with the Floyd Rose, and with that Boogie and that Mesa, and then all of a sudden, you know, I was the guy, because I could get all that gain and all that, and that was a killer rig. And man, I tell you what, I wish I had both of those things. That Kramer Pacer, blue Pacer Imperial with the original Floyd Rose, and that Mesa Boogie. I wish I had them in showroom condition, just sitting here right now, because that was probably the coolest rig I ever had at the time. But that's my little rig story here. Now we've got 19 people in here. We need to smash that like button. We need to get things rocking here today. We're having a little Red Bull. We're talking guitars. We're talking music. Now, if you've got any topics that you want me to talk about or any questions, please type them in right now. We'd love to, you know, talk about what you're saying. I was just trying to stay on focus on that story, because people say I get my ADHD kicks in and I get all over the place with my stories. But 22 people in here. Let's smash that like button. Let's get this party started right here tonight. Where's the pool, babes? Well, I'll tell you about that today, Billy. Big P, what's happening? Southern Arizona is in the house. The pool is completely shut down, and it's a little more than a pool. Aqua Blue Gretchen Guitar Center that we drool over, couldn't afford it, but it was a dream set at the time. Yes, man, there's always the one that got away, right? So yeah, the pool is completely shut down. They in fact, they announced it yesterday that it would be completely shut down today. So we got out this morning and took my daughter to the playground and let her, hey, Cece, how you doing? Good to have you here. We took her to the playground this morning so she could run and get her zoomies out, and playing replaceable guitars, keeping the pricey stuff at home. Yeah. Gary, I agree with you. That's what I started doing. I just thought, you know, and here's the thing. Budget guitars right now are better than they've ever been, you know, with modern manufacturing techniques, man, you know, and they've kind of figured out, you know, it used to be budget pickups would really kind of stink, and they'd be muddy sounding and, you know, sound like that. But even like the budget pickups, like that $499 PRS that they got now. I did a demo of it on my channel, and man, that guitar sounded great. Brad, do you think some Marshall amp would be a good choice? I have mostly single coil tellies and Strats. I love the Marshall tone. I love that whole vibe, and it sounds great with a Strat. I mean, Jimi Hendrix. But I can't honestly say that I can recommend I can't honestly say that I recommend a current Marshall amp. Every one I've ever bought more recently, it just hasn't been that durable, but your mileage may vary. If I could buy one amp, and one guy's saying, Marshall amp, I buy the Friedman Plex. Get a Friedman Plex and don't look back. That's Marshall to the core. No, it's raw, no effects send. You'll have to put your reverb and your delays in post, but man, it sounds like the real deal, and it will be a lot more reliable than the current Marshall stuff. I hope Marshall gets their stuff together, but that I always felt like those amps were pretty finicky. Good morning, CC. Little Mia definitely had a good time at the playground. And Mrs. Brad are doing well. Yes, everyone is doing good. We're chilling here. We're ready. We're kind of hunkered down for this storm, but right now it's just chill. It's just overcast. It feels great outside. I shot a video. I shot 3 videos today. I got up at 5 in the morning and I shot a video talking about going back to the Kemper. Now, I have been, using the Line 6 Pod Express just because it's so easy, and it's out of all the kind of modelers in that price area, it was the one that was the easiest to use, and I got good sounds out of it. But I couldn't help but thinking, as we do as players, that maybe I need to get something a little bit better, because I am going to be doing more recording projects and album projects and stuff like that. We will be safe, CC. Yes, indeed. I'm going to be doing more recording. So I literally had the Tone Master Pro in my cart on the Sweetwater page. I literally had it in the cart. And I'm like kind of doing some research, and I'm kind of reading and trying to figure it out. But I'm looking at that price, and it's $16.99. And I'm like, man, it's going to be a lot of YouTube videos to pay that off. It's going to be a lot of work. And, YouTube, I'm making a little bit of money now, but it's peanuts compared to, what you need. For recording, I use presets in the box. Don't even have a recording amp. I'm so old school that I like to have something that I can just, do that. And I'll use the user interface in the box. But, Line 6 Pod Express doesn't have any user interface. And the Tone X one, to me, was just a complete disaster. So I was clicking around, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on the Tone Master Pro. I'm like, it's just too expensive. I'm hearing mixed reviews about it. So I had for years, we're talking like a decade plus, I had a Kemper Profiler, the big toaster-like thing, right? So I took a look at the Kemper Profiler player, and I did a whole video about it. It'll probably come out tomorrow or whatever, but I've ordered one. So I'm going to try that out for a little while and see if I like that. The Rig Manager was fine for me to use, so. I need more options. I need more options, different tones and some things like that. So going back to the Kemper for a while, but, I don't think there is a perfect solution. Yes, a lot of people now are using software in the box, but for me, I just feel like, I don't know if I'm getting latency or whatever, but I'm so old school. I like to have something separate from my computer. Plus, my computer is not like super, super fast. I'm using a Mac Mini for all my editing and stuff like that. If you checked out the Headrush MX5, I have seen that, but I have not tried that. I'm just, it's like, I even took a look at the Boss, the GX, 100 or 1000 or whatever. But, my Boss stuff, it seems like the Katana, is a great platform. And I don't know why they don't make some little Boss Katana like modeler type thing, but who knows? I still don't think there is a perfect solution. All right, I'll have to check that out, Billy. I don't think there's a perfect solution for recording guitars as far as a, outside the box modeling unit yet. I'm still waiting for something else. Cleveland, Ohio, Big D Bass, we're glad to have you here. Thank you for being here. We're having a little Red Bull. We're talking music. We're talking guitars, and we're talking truth. We're just shooting it. We're throwing it out there fast, fast and furious. Now smash that like button. Hit subscribe to the channel. If you have a specific topic that you want me to really get in depth with, the super chat always helps because sometimes the stuff, bro, Nikos, how you doing, brother? Glad to have you here. We're having a little Red Bull. We're having a little chat. Caffeine, it's what keeps us going, right? It keeps us going. So yeah, I'm going to take a try with the profiler player, the Kemper profiler player. I know that the profile Kemper can get good tones, and it seems like it has enough effects. And obviously I can use outboard effects. Get a sound you like and stay with it. Yes. Well, that's what I did live for live gigging. Tube amps can't be beat. I absolutely agree with you, Billy. For me, though, because a lot of the hard part of getting around Nashville and getting in these gigs was loading in and loading out. 48 hours without your guitar. Nikos, where's your guitar, bro? A lot of the thing was, the hard part was getting in and out of these gigs. And, there was one week where I was like, my knee was bothering me and my back. And it was just like, like I'm hobbling into this gig and I'm like, man, I need to, because sometimes when you get older and you're pulling an amp into your trunk or whatever, you can tweak something, And so I said, man, I need a lightweight option for gigs. Nobody in the band, nobody ever. In fact, I had the last time I played this. Now I'm using the Quilter Aviator Mach 3. That is the amp that I was using on my gigs for the last year and a half to almost 2 years in Nashville. And it's super light, it's super loud. And the other thing that I liked about it is an XLR out on the back. And I would run that to the house, right? But I'd also have it in my monitor. And it has a volume control on it so I could bring my monitor up during the gig. So I never had to rely on the sound guy. So, that's what I was using. But I was looking at the Fender Tone Master amps. I was looking at different stuff. But I'm so worried about reliability, and the Quilter stuff is not really cheap. I think I paid like $13.99 or something like that for that combo amp. But I want the reason why I didn't get the Cub. Quilter makes an amp called the Cub. Good morning, Phoenix. We're glad to have you here. We've got 32 people in there. Let's smash that like button. Let's hit the subscribe if you haven't. And know that if you're new to this channel, if you become a member, and I believe it's just $2.99 a month, you get early access to all the videos that I'm putting out. And I'm popping them out. I'm popping out the knowledge. So anyway, the reason why I picked the Aviator is because I like to have an amp, whether it's a tube amp or whatever. I like to have an amp that has a jack out of the back, so I can plug that speaker into a backup head, and I always travel with a backup head. Give us the knowledge we can't get in college. Exactly, City. Exactly. Billy is in the house. Phoenix is in the house. We're having a good time. We're having my favorite flavor of Red Bull. Now they should, I think on some of my videos I have that buy me a coffee link. They should have a buy me a Red Bull link. That would be more appropriate for this channel because I don't drink coffee. I like iced tea. Now I'll show you something. This is my fuel. This is Milo's unsweet tea. This is my daily drink, right? Now it is dark tea. I don't know how they make it, but there is nothing else on the market that has the kick that tea has. So if I know that I've got to record 4 or 5 songs Tone Master Deluxe, Randy. Yeah, I like those amps. I would like to own one. I really would. And now they've got the Tone Master Basement. That looks really cool. But I just, I was worried about reliability. I was worried about it when the thing dies. Is it just going to be a brick that's sitting around the house? But I would like to check those out. So Fender, if you're listening, send me the Tone Master Basement. I would love to demo that on my channel. I'll put it on my Amazon list. I don't have an Amazon list, but what I do have is on most of my videos, I do have an Amazon affiliate link. So if you guys, I know everybody kind of every now and then we have to buy stuff on Amazon. If you want to help this channel out, just hit the affiliate link on one of my videos, and anything you purchase, whether it's diapers or jujubes or whatever else, it helps the channel. So remember me next time you go on Amazon. I just realized I missed Summer NAMM. Yes. Now, tell us, Phoenix, was that in Nashville this year, or was it in Los Angeles? I think wasn't it in Los Angeles, or maybe it was in Austin. I don't, here's the thing. There weren't really many products. It's like when I bought the Kemper, when I made that purchase last night, I'm waiting for a company to come out with that's it. That's what I want. I'm waiting for that perfect thing. So, there really hasn't been a lot of new products coming out, and, technology is moving super fast. I waited and waited for Tonex to fix their user interface. If they'd have just dialed that in to where I could adjust whatever was on the pedal on my computer. I like to be able to look at my screen, have the box sitting next to me, but make all the adjustments of the things that are on the box. That's just how I like to work. Vintage 272 thin line. Let me pull that up again. So he played the Vintage 272 thin line at Memphis Guitar History. Man, it's so nice. Man, the American Vintage series all across the board are great. ZT and Devil Cat amps. Okay, you're talking the ZT Lunchbox? Is that what you're talking about, Phoenix? The same company? Gary, thank you so much. You rock. You help this channel out by doing that. And Gary, if you have a specific topic you want to talk about, throw it out there, brother. I will give you the tea. I will give you the strong tea. The American Vintage Fender stuff, I love that stuff, man. I love it. And greetings from Southern California. Salute, Stephen. Yes, indeed, my old alma mater. Southern California. The stories I could tell you from back in the day, man, that was a wild ride. That was a wild ride, and we'll probably go out there, maybe in a couple of years we'll go visit. But man, California, it's a lot of great music out there still. There's still some great players out there. And they haven't all moved to Nashville. So I salute you, sir. So we are talking about music, guitars, and truth. If you just entered this room, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for the channel. Consider becoming a member to this channel. I'm popping videos out. I'm popping out the knowledge. And today we are sharing that knowledge here. So if there's anything you want to talk about, just pop a little question in there in the super chats. I salute you, Gary. Thank you so much. Now we're going to take a little sip of the Go Juice. Absolutely delicious. I love that flavor. It's just something about the Red Bull. Good morning from Nashville. GM Cody. Yes, indeed. Thank you, brother. Thank you. How's it going in Nashville? Are you gigging, or are you just chilling on a Sunday? Let me know. Let me know. If you're playing any places, tell me where you're at. Tell us all where you're at. We'd love to hear it. Cody is in the house. Yes, he is, from Nashville. Another one of my old alma maters. So, Yeah, Nashville is such a wild place now, man. It's crazy downtown. I stopped gigging a long time ago. Man, I hear you. I hear you. I'm teetering on that brink of, possibly not gigging here. I don't know. I don't know. Missouri, how you doing? Jacksonville. We got some great places in here. It has changed a lot and not for the better. Yeah, I agree with you, man. And I had that talk with some of my musician friends, and they're doing pretty well. They're playing downtown, and they're gigging, and they're like, man, this is great, and all this. And I bet you do, Steven. I bet you do. Um, but I told him, I said, look, LA was the place to be, and it was raging every night. And we thought, man, this is incredible. This is the greatest, and all that. And I said, just a few swipes of the pen and a few decrees from the king, and LA was, it became a ghost town. And now when you go down to the strip, it's like a museum. I've had young kids ask me, man, what was it like back in the day in Los Angeles? And I'll try and tell them. I can try and describe it to you, but unless you were there, you just have no idea. He's like, man, it just seems like it's a museum now. Yes, it is sad. And I told my friends back home, I said, man, if the city decides to drive everybody out, they'll drive everybody out, just like they did LA. I've got a video. LA was my home away from home. I've got a video that I haven't put out yet, and it's called, I can't remember how I titled it, but it was, did grunge kill the Sunset Strip? It's something to that effect, right? And obviously everybody knows that grunge came along, and it was like, but it takes a lot to kill a scene as big as the LA scene. And man, I was still playing the Sunset Strip when bands like Pearl Jam and Nirvana were coming out, and we were getting booked. We were essentially a hair band, although our music was more like Red Hot Chili Peppers or whatever, but we were still getting booked, and we had no idea that our chances of getting signed, were diminishing. And pretty soon, and I'll talk, it's in the video, I'll tell like what was happening on a street level. Because look, the labels could have just said, we're not signing any hair bands. But if the fact that we could have still been out there creating that scene, I mean, a band can come along, and it doesn't matter if you're playing. I mean, they considered Van Halen passé when they came out. At least the Rainbow is still around. Yes, the Rainbow is still rocking. It's still rocking, and the pizza's still good. So if any of y'all go out to LA, go to the Rainbow, and you can go any night of the week. It'll be happening. Now, what I used to do is I didn't have any family out in LA, and some of the band members and guys would go off with their family, and I would elect to just stay at the band house and sleep. So I would sleep until they got back from their Christmas meals or whatever, and then we would go to the Rainbow. We would go to the Rainbow on Christmas Eve. We would go on Christmas night. It was always open, and I was thankful for it, because frankly it was kind of depressing, knowing that you're by yourself. It's Christmas. There's no presents. There's no. But when you're that far away from home, man, that's how life is. And so for me, everybody's home now, and we can go to the Rainbow. I'm like, so yep, we did. Yes, indeed. So we're having a little Red Bull. We've got 30 people in here. Let's smash that like button. Let's hit that subscribe. Shoot those questions at me fast and furious. For bass, I just bought a Fender Rumble 800 combo. It pushes 400 watts. It only weighs 30 pounds. Man, I've heard nothing but good things about those Fender Rumble amps. My good buddy Paul Chapman, who got me a couple of my road gigs, and he plays on the Stone Padre album, and he plays on the Eric Blue album I produced, and all this stuff. The guy played with so many different artists, and he was telling me the story about the Fender Rumble amps. And he said he went to go play a club gig in town, and they had that amp on stage, and he looked at it and he was kind of like, and they're like, yeah, just plug into the stage amp. And he's like, but he plugged into it, says, man, that thing was so loud and sounded so good. He said, I ended up buying one. And I was like, that's a testament. But I miss the old SWR bass amps. That's what I miss. I've been looking for a new bass and guitar amp and curious about those rumbles. Yeah, man, from what I understand, everybody says they sound real good. I mean, I don't know how reliable they are, but I don't know how reliable anything is anymore. I mean, let's face it, they don't build that stuff like they did in the 60s and even early 70s. Or it's just nothing's hand wired. It's all bean counters picking out the parts and all that. So I can't say whether it's reliable, but I know they sound good. Ampeg combos myself, they're also lightweight, but I just like the Ampeg sound. Man, I haven't tried those, but I did have for a little while there. They had those Ampeg Jet 20s or something like that, and I had 2 of those, and I got them for super cheap. I mean, I think I paid like $3.99 each or something like them for them, brand new, and I had bought 2 of those. And my idea was this would be a good club amp, and I was going to run them stereo, but I don't think I ended up actually using them on gigs because I was always concerned with is this enough clean headroom to be the type of gigs that I was doing. I wasn't most of the time I was playing a pushed clean sound, so but yeah, the Ampeg, I love the Rolling Stones, and for years they had those giant Ampeg amps, and those things are loud and clean. But man, I love that stuff. And SVT, you can't beat an SVT, but man, it will break your back trying to carry one of those. Ampeg 2.8 combo, built-in distortion 2. I need to check that out. I haven't, it's been a while since I checked out Ampeg stuff. So we've got 34 people in here, 23 likes. Let's smash that like button. Let's get things popping. We want to thank Gary for adding to the super chat. That helps this channel out immensely. That keeps me going. Every little red cent helps this channel keep going. It's, hey everyone. Quincy. Now this is my guy right here, because Quincy is going to Belmont. And Quincy is on his way with a music career, and he left Berkeley in Boston. So I think he made a good call, and you're getting into engineering and production, right? My memory's not that good. Alan, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to have you here. We're having another little sip of Red Bull, but Quincy is a smart guy. Because I tell you, most of the people that watch my channel are guys like me. You guys we're a mirror reflection. We've got similar experiences. That's why I don't I don't do as many playing videos as I used to do, because you guys can all play. Everybody that watches my channel already knows how to play. And like, frankly, doing guitar lessons on here, thanks Quincy, thank you. I'm trying. My memory is not that good, but it's not bad considering how old I am. But everybody that kind of watches my channel is usually around my age and has these similar kind of experiences. But Quincy is in Nashville now, and we're giving him some of the inside yo ho ho. Bo, how you doing? So Roland Blues Cube Hot 30 Watt, my in-home and jam amp. Yeah, those are cool. Those are cool. I'm the old dude, Blastmaster. You can't be. You're not that old. I don't think you're that old. Yeah, you're young. You're young at heart, right? That's what we all say. I'm just glad that at my age that I never got caught on a gig slipping. And with your age, and you're on these gigs, 67. Blastmaster, I salute you, man. We're still going, right? We're still going. And that's the important thing. And you still got movement in your hands, and you still got a brain and a heart, and we're still going. But I was just glad that I never had to play a gig where all of a sudden I felt old. Like as far as ability, as far as playing ability, because, I was always known for kind of like, being really, really solid and funky, rhythm parts and clean parts and all that kind of stuff. But then when it would be time for me to take a solo, I was the bull in the china shop. I'm busting out of the back line of the rhythm section and just go off. And so I was still able to do that on my last gigs. And I was thankful that I never felt like, oh man, Boss Katana and an older Marshall half stack. Man, I'm thinking about getting a Katana Gen 3. I am. Pops has a boutique tweed bassman reissue that I'm using right now. Man, that sounds like a killer rig. There's so much cool stuff out there. And man, dude, I could take a $200 guitar with today's modern, methods, pick out a good one, go to the store, even one of those Squire debut. Have you guys seen those? Amazon has this Strat and this Telly. It's a Squire debut, and they're when is my next gig, Charles? I have no idea. I am flirting with the possibility of not even trying to gig right now, but you never know. Who knows? GNL makes great products. That's right, Quincy. I'm flirting with the possibility that I might not do live gigs. I don't know. It's just gonna really depend. But here's the thing. I was making like $500 a gig on a Saturday night in Nashville. Not always, but a good part of the time. And then there were some shakeups in the business part of it and all that, and things kind of went sideways. And that's where, when we got this opportunity to move, it just kind of said, well, the gigs, yeah, it's 500 is good, but I don't think I'm gonna make that here playing these gigs. And the thought of playing, a gig for $200, man, I'm just like, man, I might have to just figure out another way to make $200, because while that's okay money, but it's not when you factor in paying for parking and strings and your time and gas and all of those things. And it would be a step back. So I've got to find the right situations here. Aztec Gold is a great color. Yes, it is. I just purchased a sparkle red Squire Telly last year, and the feel and play is better than my high-end guitars. Big Apple loaded with Duncans. Those are cool guitars. Look, you could take a cheap guitar and a Boss Katana, and you can make it sound great. It's like, back in my day when my first guitar, my Univox and my Harmony amp, boy, you could really make that sound like absolute crap. And so you had to kind of learn how to make it sound good with your hands. I was listening to some of the tracks off of that Guthrie Trapattano. Good guitar. Anyone listen to that yet? I have not heard that. I've heard them play a couple of songs on some Instagram videos. And those guys are monster players and great at getting tones. And, that's a great project. I salute those guys, and I salute the 35 people. We've got 25 likes. Let's get those likes up. Let's get the subscribes going. Let's keep the vibes flowing. I went to buy a brand new 60s Les Paul yesterday at GC in Memphis. Bo, what happened? What happened? Did you get the 60s? I own the album. It's great. Buko's one of the best live players around today. Yeah, he's got a vibe to his playing. He's got serious vibe. What up, badbrad? Black 22. Tim Hardiman is in the house. The Guthrie Bukovac album, he's got it. He loves it. Anyway, the Les Paul felt cheap, Bo. I get it. Sometimes you pull it, you see it in the picture in the magazine, and then you touch it, and you're like, nah, this is not going to work. You know, it's just the way it is. The tri-burst on those is gorgeous, Michael Lee says. They played a song or two on Rick Beato channel. Amazing players. Yes, they are. Those guys are amazing, man. I mean, you know, like I said, Bukovac, you know, they're two different players. Guthrie Trapp is very much, I feel like he's in the here and now. And it seems like Bukovac is a little more, got a little more of that drunken master vibe to it. It's a lot more kind of ethereal vibe. So the two styles together mesh really well because one, they're both experienced players, and you know, I got something I'm going to show Tim Hardiman, and I'll show all you guys here. I'll pull this off. Tim, check this out. Now you see what this is? This is my backstage pass to the Cabo Wabo Cantina in Cabo, Mexico, where my band played April 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Yes, in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And I know Tim would like to see this video because he is a huge Van Halen fan. But, you know, my dad, he kept a lot of the stuff. Like, he came down to see us. This was, I'm guessing, like 92 or 93. And I'll tell you the story. I'll let you guys see this again. So we got a call. We were playing the Strip, and we were kind of known as a band that, you know, we were good. We were good players, and you know, you could count on us if you hired us to play a gig. So I guess one of the promoters at Cabo Wabo got a call from the people down at, you know, Sammy's people down at the club. The people were running Cabo, and they said, look, we need some bands. We want to bring some LA bands down here to play the club. And they already had a house band that was like local guys, like, and they would play like Santana and stuff like that. And those guys were really good. But they said, we'll bring these LA bands down here. And what they did was we had to pay for our own flight, right? And they gave us accommodations, and I think it was like one meal a day, and then 40 beers and 40 shots of tequila a night. So, yeah, so you know this is a good story, right? So I laugh about it now because, so we all scraped up the money. We all scraped up the money. We kept track. We kept track, and we made sure we drank every bit of it. But so yes, we could do, that's a lot of shots. And they were, you know, they were the decent size shots, and they were in glass. They weren't those cheapo plastic things. And it was probably Cabo Wabo tequila. So Eric, how you doing? So we fly down to Mexico, right? We get on a plane, and we all scraped up the money. You know, it was kind of, we were all broke, you know, LA musicians, you know, living hand to mouth. But we all had to, I think it was, I don't know, $360 or something like that. So we all fly down, and what we had to do, because we were going through the singer problems, as we were always trying to find the perfect singer. And we were between singers at the time. We literally didn't have a singer. But we got the call, hey, do you guys want to come play Cabo Wabo? And we're like, yeah. So we're like, well, what do we do? Well, we've just got to get somebody. Just get somebody who's willing to buy his own flight, and we'll go play the club. So we found this guy, and his name was Rocky. And he kind of looked like Roger Daltrey. He had blonde hair, but it was kind of poofy. Yeah, Vince Neil. You know, I knew the guys, Dave Marshall and Robbie Crane. Those guys, I knew they had joined Vince Neil's band, so they were already. And Robbie Crane bought a Jaguar when he got that gig. So all of a sudden he's pulling up to the same clubs that we're going to, and he's in this Jaguar. Like all of a sudden he's Mr. Rockstar. So Vince Neil was not available. So we got a guy at a Music Connection named Rocky, and he was, in shape, okay looking, and an okay voice, but nothing amazing. We knew like this guy, if we got this guy, in our band and we're playing the Strip, we're not going to get a record deal with this guy. But he was good enough to go down to Cabo Wabo and play this gig. And this was, I think we did 2 or 3 sets a night. I think it was maybe just 2 sets, like an hour long each. And so we had to learn we learned some Van Halen, Beautiful Girls. We played that, maybe Ain't Talking About Love. And we played a few of our songs. We kind of mixed up the set. So we were playing like a little bit of everything. And so we get on the plane. We got our temporary singer, and we get on the plane. We fly to Cabo, and we're in the plane, and they're giving us unlimited beer on the way down. So we're just knocking them out, the beer and all this. And so we get to Cabo, right? And back then Cabo was not as developed as it is now. So we're in Cabo, and they put us in this van. We've got our guitars, in our cases and stuff, but we're going to play like whatever Van Halen left down there. We're going to play their gear. That's the stuff that's at the club. So we fly down there. They pick us up in this van, and we're already hammered. And we're all, we're these long-haired mutants with ripped T-shirts and ripped jeans and just, straight out of LA. And we're like, we're just like, we're in total like rock band mode. They put us in this van, and there's all these families that were going down to Cabo to have a nice quiet weekend. And the driver's like, I pull over for you to get beer. And we're like, more beer? And so he pulls over at this stop, and we get like another like 12 pack, and we're pounding the beer and just going crazy in this van. And man, the families in this van were they were scared to death. I've never seen fear like that. And we weren't really doing anything but just having a good time. But we got to our hotel, and we were there a day early. We had to play the next day. And man, we were wrecked by the time we got there. But 40 beers and 40 shots of tequila a night. That's what we drank. And the last night, boy, we were just barely choking down that tequila, man. That was like, back then we were young and we could do it, but that's just a little taste. I'll probably do a whole video episode about a time at Cabo Wabo. We've got 44 people in here. We've got 31 likes. Let's smash that like button. Let's get the subscribes up. We've got the vibes flowing. We're at 53 minutes and a half. We could keep going, or we could cut it off. What do y'all want to do? Quincy, waiting on my custom telly I have on order. Broadcaster spec. Who's building your Esquire there, Quincy? Who's building it? Dude. Got to play a Takamine with the Cool Tube preamp. Keep it rolling. Mike, we're going to keep it rolling. I'm keeping the Red Bull. I've still got a good little amount of Red Bull in here to keep the vibe flowing, man. Did you meet Sammy and thank him for the liver damage? No, I did not. And the last night we got thrown out of the backstage area. Here we are, we're playing your club and we're not getting paid. And we would get 1 meal a day. So that sometimes that would be all we would get, to eat. So we would make sure to, kind of can we have some extra chips, that kind of stuff. And, we got thrown out. X5 is in the house. Keep going. Hey, get our email from community page and shoot me an email. Hey, X5, I did send you an email. I think it was about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, but I will do that again. Yes, so the last night backstage at Cabo Wabo, it's Sammy Hagar's club, and we're choking back, and we had just choked back the last of the shots and the last of the beer. And these girls that we knew from LA that had said, "Oh, you guys are playing in LA? We're gonna come see you at Cabo Wabo." So they would be there every night watching us. Well, the last night, and they were very strict. The guy that was running Cabo Wabo at the time was like an ex, and so he was really uptight, right? And so he had said, no girls on stage, and all this kind of stuff. And we're like, hey, no problem. But while we were backstage, these girls wanted to come see us. So we weren't on stage. We're not security. So we're backstage. We can't see anything that's going on stage. Well, the girls climbed on stage and then came up the stairs and came in the back door. Well, we didn't know how they got back there or that they jumped on stage. But he comes backstage and he proceeds to just light us up, right? And he's like cursing at us. And I've had about 10 shots of tequila, which is back in the day, dude. I used to call it fighting juice. And I'm just like, all of a sudden, I'm just like, he's yelling, and I'm just like, I'm wanting to just snap, right? Yeah, they came in through the back door. So I am like, I'm just about ready to just go off. And fortunately, something in my brain just said, dude, let's just leave. It's our last night. Let's just grab our crap and get out of here. So we literally got thrown out of Cabo Wabo for having girls backstage, which, like I said, if they had had security guards on the stage or just, somebody, they could have said, hey, girls, no, you can't go backstage right now. We'll tell them, and, if they want to let you backstage or whatever. But, yeah, so that was kind of the addendum to the Cabo Wabo experience. X5 is in the house. We've got 48 people in here, 34 likes. Let's hit that like button. We're keeping it rolling. We're keeping it rocking. Have you ever shared any stories from your stint in Trick Pony? Hard to believe we first met almost 20 years ago. So Black 22 Productions. I'll introduce you to the X5 podcast guy. I haven't told really any stories on that. And man, I've got some doozy stories. And some of the best stories I've got are from that time. And I'm almost like I'm saving some of the best stories for my channel. Now, there's been a few, YouTube is so hit or miss. You can put out a video. I put out that Broke on the Road video. And I thought, man, this is not really going to do a whole lot, but I'll put this video out. And yeah, that was wild because see, Tim was out there with us filming us while we were on the road, and and listening to Van Halen 1 on the bus afterwards, right, with the beers. We'd be sitting in the front lounge just blasting the Van Halen as we're driving down the bus. But I'm saving some of these stories because you could put out a video that you think is an absolute piece of crap or it's not going to do that much and it just blows up. And then you could put out one that you go, man, this is a great story and people are going to love this. That's how we bonded, bro, over VH1. Absolutely. You could put out a video and think it's not going to do that great and it blows up. And then you put out one of your best stories and it's just the algorithm doesn't pick it up or whatever it is. So you just never know what's going to happen, So, yeah, Trick Pony stories are coming. They will be coming. I've got some amazing stories from them. I might even have to just talk about the story and not even mention who the artist is. X5, oh my God. Just had our producer's response to your email. Awesome. Thank you. Because, man, When you guys said you want to have me on the podcast, I was like, dude, I'm going to find these guys' email address and I'm gonna make sure I reach out, because I am one of those people, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'll do it. So thank you so much, X5. You guys rock. You guys have made my month. July was epic for this channel. You know, it's still, I'm not making like millions of dollars, or I'm gonna be 1,000 air for July. But sharing these stories and this camaraderie on this channel has been absolutely epic. And X5 podcast, man, that is a super cool podcast. And I'm looking forward to coming up there and doing that. That is gonna be a blast. You know, I watched those guys, the Steel Panther guys on there, and Steve O and Brett Scallions and all those people that go on there. And man, those guys, it's some serious talent and seriously hilarious. So everybody that's in this channel right now, go click on the X5 podcast, subscribe to it. You're gonna love it. It's awesome. Thank you, X5. I love you guys. You guys rock, bro. All right, so we've talked today Cabo Wabo. We've talked Trick Pony a little bit, but like I said, I'm saving some of the best stories. Thank you, Quincy. Yes, X5. Look, this has been 4 weeks in a row that X5 has come by in a huge way, and I don't expect anything when I go on these lives. I don't membership button. Go to my page, channel page, and if you see below, you'll see the member videos. Click on one of those, and I'm sure there's a link to join the channel. And like I said, I just uploaded 3 videos today, all in the members section. So I might have to do is just, some of these stories are just too wild for regular old YouTube. I'm gonna probably have to put, thank you, Phoenix, thank you, X5 again. I'm gonna probably have to have videos that are just members videos and just stay members videos, because man, some of these stories are just so crazy, you wouldn't believe it, you know. And so anyway, we're having a little Red Bull. We're having a little extended chat. We're going over the hour mark thanks to X5. We're keeping the party flowing. We're keeping the vibes going. And just like Diamond David Lee Roth, man, we're rocking and rolling here tonight. Look at all the people here tonight. Here I say. So we're having a good time. The Red Bull is I still got some, bro. I'm gonna have to be sponsored by Red Bull. It's gonna have to happen. Did your band break up? They all break up. All gigs end. If I could tell you one piece of advice, one break coming up, man. All bands break up. And if they don't break up, then somebody got fired and they just went on without. They left one guy off the bus. We used to call it a hot dog and a roadmap, because sometimes you're kicked off the tour or whatever, and they always threaten, like, we're going to drop you off at the truck stop with a hot dog and a roadmap. Like, here you go, get off. And you hear stories like that. Just like there was an old timer. Next week is my birthday. Yes, it is. Next week is my birthday. It's next Saturday. If you could imagine, it's probably the first time in my life it feels like it's like the perfect day. So I will go live probably Saturday morning and do a little live. And then we're going to go, we're in Tampa. So I haven't been to the guitar shops here. Michael Starr is on his way to my lake house to stay a few days and write some tunes. Man, that's awesome. So Michael Starr was in Atomic Punks. That was one of the first Van Halen tribute acts. And my old friend John Billings mentioned John Billings to Michael Starr. John Billings was the original bass player in Atomic Punks. And Scott Patterson, who was the drummer for a band called Lancia in LA. Scott Patterson was the drummer in Atomic Punks. And I know both of those guys. I used to hang out. John Billings is still now in Nashville, but I'm kind of got some adjacent, and our late brother Bart Walsh. Yes, Bart Walsh was the original guitar player for the Atomic Punks with Michael Starr, Scott Patterson, and John Billings. Now that is a serious band. And Satchel is an incredible player. I went to GIT with Satchel. His name is Russ Parrish, right? And he was like a 16-year-old kid. I think I was like 18 or 19 when I went to GIT. And I remember like everybody was kind of like, a lot of guys would go in these little practice rooms and they'd be sitting there shredding. And I noticed this one kid was sitting there and he's kind of playing and everybody's kind of crowded around him. And so I poked my head in, and it's a 16-year-old Russ Parrish right there, Satchel, 16-year-old Satchel. And people were asking him, "Oh, you were in Mike Varney's spotlight column," and they're talking. I'm like, "Wow, this kid, he got the spotlight column. He's going somewhere." And we were going to GIT at the same time, and I don't remember seeing him ever again much after that. He might have gotten a gig right then, and just because that would happen. Like Chad Smith was a student at GIT or PIT, and he got the gig. Russ, he is an amazing human. He's an amazing guitar player. Those guys. Harry, thank you for becoming a blues king. Really, yeah. Those guys, their whole thing that they did, man, I was the biggest fan when I saw Steel Panther. He's also roomed with Paul Gilbert. Yes, he did. Yes, man. Hey, man, John, what's happening, brother? Those guys, I was the biggest Steel Panther fan because, they really kind of summed up what that Hollywood, scene was like back in the day. And we were all like of that same mentality of where's the party at? Where's the chicks at? We're partying, and, there's that whole lifestyle. And those guys really figured out a way. Look, when that whole scene died down, it became a point in time where, it was like it becomes a nostalgia thing. And a whole generation that missed out on that just latched out onto Steel Panther, and they encapsulated all of the things that, made that whole genre like a huge thing. They encapsulated. You were the first to turn me to them when you played Community Property. Oh my God, that became her daughter's prom theme. Make sure you tell Michael Starr that Community Property was a prom theme. That is amazing. That is amazing. Those guys were so good in what they were doing, and their songs are hilarious. And it's amazing that someone hasn't tried to cancel them because, we got the thunder coming. We're getting ready to ride the storm here. I did a whole video today outside pre-storm. What up, my guy, Burl Investments? What's happening? How y'all doing? But we're talking Fast and Furious here. We're talking Steel Panther. We got X5 in the house. I want all 48 people in this room to hit the subscribe to X5, hit the subscribe to this channel, give me the thumbs up. We're on overtime right now. When the football game gets down to the wire and it's like, oh, we're going to overtime. We're in overtime right now, and the score is still tied. We're not stopping till somebody wins, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, man, I love Steel Panther. They really it kind of capture the whole vibe, and it's a shame that those guys should be the biggest band on the planet. They really should. Their songs are so well written. Community Property is friggin' hilarious, man. I was passing that song on to everybody, and it's funny that Tim remembers me, playing for Tim because Tim was such a huge Van Halen fan. I'm like, dude, you got to check out Steel Panther. So here we go. We're going to have a little more Red Bull. We're going to keep the vibes flowing for a little bit longer, but we are getting ready to have some pretty inclement weather. So we're going to try to get Michael Jordan off the bench and close this game out pretty soon. If anybody remembers the flu game, the Michael Jordan flu game, what do you think of Lynch Mob or George Lynch? Man, Quincy, that Lynch Mob stuff is killer, dude. That, was that Wicked Sensation or whatever? Man, that song is badass, dude. The production on that, it was like, George Lynch must have like thought, man, I want to do something. He got a killer singer. He had his drummer, the Wild Mick Brown. And man, I'm a huge George. Yeah, that riff, it is badass, dude. And the thing I like about George Lynch, and the same could be said for Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen, is that they're improvisers. They have things that they do in their solo and little signature things, but those guys let it fly, man. They take chances. And George Lynch, to this day, man, I've seen clips of him, from last year or a few months ago. Man, he's still up there just letting it fly. He's just flying by the seat of his pants. And man, I respect that as a player more than anything. You don't know how much pressure it is now out on the road, dead or alive. I have to check that out, Quincy. Mr. Scary, indeed. There is a lot of pressure with today's, live stuff, with everything to click and everything's backing tracks and all this. And they don't want you to wing it. They don't want any, they're killing the life. And I told, man, one of my road gigs, they wanted me to play everything note for note and all this. I just said, dude, you're gonna crush my soul, and you're gonna make it so every single performance is exactly the same cookie cutter performance. And man, personally, as a musician, as a guitar player, or as just an audience member, I don't want to go pay big bucks to see a cookie cutter performance. I want to see a unique experience every night. And that is the reason why people go to multiple different shows. Any stories from Seattle and the grunge era? I do have some stories, kind of behind the scenes stuff, and I'm gonna have to save that for the channel. But I had some common interests with Mike Inez from the band Alice in Chains. Let's just say we may have dated the same girl, and there's a really interesting story about that. But I'm saving some of the good stuff for the channel. Now I've got a video in my members section, and it's called Casino Gig from Hell. And that is one of the most hilarious stories. What's up, Guitar Vacation? How you doing? Yes, we are live before, just like David Lee Roth said, live before your naked steaming eyes here tonight. Yes, we are. We're in overtime. We've got Jordan off the bench. He's been suffering with the flu, but I think he's going to pull through for us. I think it's the flu game here. You kind of got to go back to the 1996 Communications Act along with Napster. It just wasn't Napster, but also Bill Clinton. Okay, I don't know about that. I know Napster was, it was what it was, but man, politics is not a part of this channel. It's not what we do here tonight. You know what I'm saying? If we wanted to talk politics, we would start a news channel, and man, that would be boring, man. So we're having a little last sip of Red Bull. We're gonna close it out on a Saturday. The storm is threatening here tonight, and we're gonna probably wrap it up. I'd rather not for my eyes. Ha ha ha. Hell yeah, no politics. And we don't need that stuff here. We're here to have a good time and forget about all the nonsense, man. We just don't have time for the the left and the right. I just like keeping it between the lines. It's Sunday. Yes, it is. Mike Holmes. Be safe out there. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna shut it down. We're getting some thunderstorms coming. Thank you to X5. Please, everybody, subscribe to X5. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. We did really good today. Thank you to X5 and my other guy that chipped in $10. Thank you so much. We will be live again next Saturday on my birthday, Saturday morning. And we're going to have a good time here tonight. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'll see y'all on the next one. And don't forget, just about every morning at 8 a.m., I put out a new video. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And I will see y'all. Merry Christmas, Mike. Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, you guys. Have a good Sunday, and I'll see you on the next one.